Hi, so today I'll discuss some of the main components of the PC and what each of them does. First is the CPU. The CPU is the brain of the computer. It does all of the calculations and runs every instruction. It's important to look out for socket compatibility with your motherboard. Not every CPU works with every motherboard. You need to make sure that your motherboard and CPU match in socket type. Next up is the motherboard, which is the backbone of your PC. Pretty much everything on your PC has to plug into your motherboard. Your motherboard is the thing that connects everything on your PC. When choosing a motherboard, it's important to look at if the motherboard is DDR4 or DDR5, so you know which type of RAM you can use together with it. RAM is the short-term memory. It handles all the active tasks. Always install RAM in dual channel when possible, because dual channel can give better performance, except for if you have a X3D processor, then it doesn't make that big of a difference. Next up is the GPU. This one handles all the visuals and pretty much everything that happens on the screen. It is critical for gaming and creative work. It's important to look at VRAM. I would suggest at least 8 GB of VRAM nowadays, but don't get too fixated on VRAM. Getting 16 GB of VRAM is not as important as getting a high-performing graphics card. Next up is storage. The storage is basically where all of your files live. SSDs are higher in speed and more reliable. However, HDDs are completely fine if you are on a stricter budget. PSU. This one is often overlooked and people just pick up a random PSU. A PSU is a power supply unit. It is very important for the PC to work, and getting a cheap power supply unit will mean that your PC can get completely fried, or it can even start a fire. In case you are wondering how to make sure that your PSU is high quality or not, there is a tier list called PSU tier list, which gives you a ranking from F to A for almost every PSU that exists. Next up is the CPU cooler. The CPU cooler is important because it cools down your CPU. A lot of people cheap out on the CPU cooler. However, that is only a good idea if your CPU doesn't have a high wattage. A high wattage CPU will get much hotter than a low wattage CPU. Then is the case. For the case, basically you want to get the case that is the same size as your motherboard. For example, if you have a mini ITX motherboard, get a mini ITX case as well. Second of all is the airflow, how the airflow works. I have another video where I explain airflow in more detail, so if you want to know more about it, you should check that one out. The case is the most personalized part, so you should just choose something that looks good for you. It's also important to look at the GPU length. If the GPU is too long, it will not fit in the case. Thank you and see you in the next video. Bye.